Hello YouTube fans, here again. And today I'm part two of the 80s marathon of 1982 and I'm going to action or adventure films. Why not this one? I remember doing it before, I don't think it was really that good when I did it. That being Sorcerer. That's right, Sorcerer. A typical another offensive fantasy sort of film, was like typical of that era. And this is no difference, but it is different because this is, you could say, sort of like the one that started the female warrior sort of fantasy buccaneer films, because it's not a man warrior. It's not like Dope the Barbarian. It's not like Beastmaster. It's not like the one I did not long ago, being the Sword and the Sorcerer. It's not at all like that. It's actually two women. Now I always wonder whether it was two-way film or the two actually were real twin sisters what played the Buccaneer Adventure film. If it were two sisters, wow. I really didn't use the double filming, because the double filming, let's be honest, is always shit. Especially in the 80s and 90s. It's just a giveaway. You can always tell it's two-way filming. You know what I mean? Go back to the classic days of A.D. Mills, the Parent Trap. You can always tell the double filming when he died after Quinn. I also remember Elvis Presley in a film called Kissing Cousins, where they had two-way film of Elvis, and he was playing a twin brother. So I always thought the two-way filming was never the best when they tried to make out you had a Quinn. But they done it with twin sisters. So you've got this day epic music, which I remember the only fucking decent thing, the only decent thing to ever come out of Deathstalker 3. And I'll probably even fucking say to me about that, because you know what I thought about that. I had a big rant about that when the film was called, what's it called? Deathstalker 3, Warriors from Hell. I actually said that movie can go to hell, because it's a piece of shit. Now the only good thing about that film was, you do have the same music from this film, which basically you just took from Sorcerer. I mean, Deathstalker 3 is not a good film. It's not. The artwork is a decent thing about it. The acting's terrible. There's supposed to be a rape scene in it, right? Supposed to be really disturbing. But then you got this guy really overacts. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. Honest to God, this is me. On something that's supposed to be disturbing. But the only decent thing about Deathstalker 3 was the art cover was pretty awesome. And you use this music from Sorceress. So you got the music what you later used in Deathstalker 3, which I think is a piece of shit. This however is not a piece of shit, it's a good film. And they used that music. Now you've got the idea that an evil sorcerer. In all fairness, this guy just looks like a freaking devil worshipper. He looks like the fawn of Satan. He looks so laughable. Doesn't look intimidating, doesn't look scary, doesn't look frightening. We've got the idea he's evil sorcerer, right? And they're going to sacrifice this woman, and she's having twin babies, so to have these special powers, and he wants to sacrifice them. Talk about far after there. These are these daughters, and he wants to sacrifice them. The funny thing is, this guy looks like he's in his freaking 70s, and he still looks like that when they grow up to be a freaking break. So the woman say, no, you're not going to do it. So he cut her, I could put it, they cut her down there. You don't see it, so it's professionally done. I'm happy to say, it's not in your face, but they cut her down there, the Sorcerer. This guy comes out of nowhere, saves the two beautiful babies. You get the idea she bleeds to death, but he makes her a promise before she dies, the typical epic death. And you look after the kids. And then she snuffs it. So you got the idea it's a couple of days later, the girls are growing up, and then now these beautiful warrior women. That's what I liked about this film. It's not your typical guy who's the hero and it's used to show his biceps. It's not like Beastmaster where he's talking to the birds and the bees. It's not like Dope the Barbarian, so I repeat myself, and it's used to show his biceps. It's not like any of that. And again, it's your typical revenge film. They want revenge on the death of the mummy, but it's not just that. The evil guy who got his idea, he's like a king, but he has magical powers. He wants to sacrifice them because they've got some form of powers and they make him more powerful. Your typical story of that era. So you got the idea anyway that they want to get the revenge and they want to save the day. I do love the music in it, and I do admit the action scenes when they're there, they are pretty impressive. The dudes, they know how to sew a sword, know how to sew a bow arrow. There's some good action autography. No big words for me here today, but there's some good scenes where they do show some really good action pieces in the film. There really is. There's no faults in this film being Sorceress from 1982. So I love it. I love it. What I was going to say, I love this film because this film to me is very well coordinated. You've got some really awesome action scenes, some bow arrows, swords. Again, there's a bit of excuse where there's a bit of nudity, which is quite typical of fantasy films. There's a bit where one of the girls is in the water, she's washing herself, and let's use a bit of nudity, a bit of tits, which is quite typical of that era. Do you get this weird little furry monster? You got to do it's a bit like a pervert, a little monkey thing, and this other weird little thing with arms, and she kicks it in the face, and later on she befriends it, not in a naughty way, but she befriends it. And I'm coughing. I've got to admit, I thought that scene was a bit. I mean, you can see it was a dive with a thingy fursuit on, but to be honest, I'm choosing that was some shitty CGI thing running about. You know what I mean? Like the flipping Hobbit from Lord of the Rings, really overacting. I choose that over that any day. But I thought it's like shoot, little down having a look around, like really annoying noise after the bit. It looked like a pervert. I don't just kicked it in the face. But the dudes who get taxed at one scene, they're going to burn the face as a what thing, but they manage to get out of dodge. A good bit of action. I do love the music in it. If I could ever pay the music or find it somewhere, you see what I mean? It does have that offensive feel to it. In my eyes, it does have that offensive feel to it. So it goes dee 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 dee. I just am doing a shit job, but it does have that offensive feel to it. So there's a bit where they go into this place. This guy, I could put it, I think it's also one of the sisters. But I thought this scene was funny because the sister could feel what she's having. So I put it in detail, and she's having an order. You know what I mean? She's having an order, so putting it in a brunter word. And this guy talked to the girls, think, oh, he's at it again. And he's getting really peed off because he told his mate not to do anything, but, typical guy, thinks of his big brain. And you can see why these girls, to be honest though, these girls are attractive, they are pretty, but they're not exactly eye-tender. That's what I like about the film. They're not an excuse to there is an excuse to show nudity, but there are some good action pieces in it. I feel they can angle themselves. And it's down the same here. I never saw these girls do anything else together because they were proper twin sisters. Wasn't a typical two-way freaking film. And they did the action scenes when they were done. They knew how to angle a sword. They never showed good scenes with a bow arrow, so I repeat myself again. They really did some really good action scenes. The demon fights, he kicks one in the face. They really had good scenes. There's a bit where they're getting dragged in, they've got these evil sort of zombie things, they manage to get out of dodge. Again, I love the idea that it does have stop motion in the film. You've got this big lion thing fighting with this monster, a bit of stop motion, which I'm a sucker for old effects. Shoot me. You've got this evil sorcerer woman, this monkey keeps tying it on with her, as well, a bit kinky, do we need that, and a naughty little monkey. He's even trying to befriend the evil king and he kicks it, and rightly so, because it was pretending to be a bit fucking annoying, even for me. And so they outdo the king, they kill the king, they kill the evil freaking queen, who was basically the love interest of the evil king. And basically, nicely putting it, they save the day. The guy gets the woman, a happy ending. Yeah, it's a bit cheesy at the end, but I love it. It's one of them sort of old student adventure films from 1982. That being Sorcerer. But to them people, be smart, be safe. I'll do some more of the 80s marathon, more 80s films, more films I like, more things I like to show on the way. Into them, I'll see you later.